What is the current state of the tripartite alliance? Why does Outer want to take legal action against the dismissal of Pravin Gordhan? And why is the ANC Youth League saying the president should remain in his position? And does the reshuffle have anything to do with the ANC's elective conference in December this year? What time is it? It's question time. And welcome to the show. My name is Paul Tsedi. Earlier today, the Secretary General of the African National Congress, Gwede Mantashe, briefed the media about the outcome of Tuesday's special National Working Committee meeting. It followed a closed session of the top 6 officials on Monday that proceeded until yesterday that sought to address concerns over the recent cabinet reshuffle. In a change of tone, though, the Secretary General says the NWC congratulates all newly appointed ministers and their deputies. He further says the events that followed their appointment should not detract from the fact that they are capable comrades with skills and experience to offer to the work of government. The latest developments have caused an apparent rift among alliance partners, with COSATU joining those who are calling on President Jacob Zuma to step down. Meanwhile, government says calls for a national shutdown earmarked for Friday will have unexpected consequences on the economy. Citizens are being encouraged to resolve issues through dialogue. We are live and therefore you can call us and air your views. The numbers to dial 089-1104-210. Our Twitter handle @QuestionTime24. My guest today, Jabulon Zuza, is the ANC Youth League Secretary General, and we're expecting Wayne Duvenage from Outer. He hasn't arrived as yet. SG, welcome. Thank you very much for making time. Difficult times?
No, it's not such a difficult time. It's one of those times that the ANC must go through in order to regenerate itself.
From yesterday's rally that was held at Germiston, one could get a sense that the ANC Youth League has closed ranks and you're forming a ring of steel around President Zuma to say, hands off our president, whilst some, both within the ANC structures and within the alliance, are saying this man is a liability, he must go.
Firstly, it's not just about President Jacob Zuma, but it is about Jacob Zuma, the president of the African National Congress. Jacob Zuma is the face of the ANC. And when you hit on the president, you are actually hitting on the organization. And we know very well that this has never been about President Zuma as a person, but it has always about the policies that the organization seeks to pursue, that others think that it is pro-poor, and as a result, it is not longer protecting white privilege. That is what this battle is all about. It's about the rich wanting to protect the space that they've secured for themselves, and the ANC fighting for poor people to have access on the economy, and the rich using means such as the media and other platforms to portray a picture of a failed state, whereas the state has not failed.
Well, but here is the president who reshuffles his cabinet, and then the country is downgraded to a junk status.
Well, firstly, on that particular issue, you must start by understanding that the ratings by Standard & Poor did not come after the reshuffle. It actually came before the reshuffle. So to then say you want to attribute the downgrade to the reshuffle is not actually accurate, and we will plead with citizens to actually go and establish their facts. The president has a right to reshuffle cabinet as and when the president sees fit. Such a right is given through the constitution. It's not as if it is something extraordinary that has never happened, that has never been seen in this country. This thing has been happening for quite a while. All we are saying is that the citizens of this country must remain calm. The ANC is in the process of delivering to the poorest of the poor and making a difference in their lives.
Peter, you are in Richards Bay in KZN. Ngiyaphila utshani baba?
Yebo, ngisacela ukubingelela nomfowethu lapha stage.
Ulalele kahle nje.
Ngithi mina kubuhlungu uma ngabe kade ngiyibona lento ubaba uNjabulo lapha ngeke ngisho ukuthi ubaba ngane kakhulu kumina kade befunda la e-University of Zululand ngimazi kakhulu.
All right,
ngakutshela nje kancane ukuthi ucorruption ebebewenza kuma students e-University of Zululand bebenza kanjani. Befike be-organize e-University of Zululand befike be-organize ama-bash for ama-students bese bebeka imali yokuthi imalini i-bash bese bethatha imali beze becene umuntu ozosijeya ukuthi akayenza imali benkulu bese bakhona esabe beyokhokhelwa yona edlangezwa. Lo ngiyamazi ucorruption kuphela into eyenzekalayo ku-ANC. It's only about corruption. I know.
Where Peter? Usekhona yini? Where Peter?
Hello?
Oh, usekhona?
Yes, I'm still here.
Okay, no, I wanted to find out, I mean, all these allegations that you're coming up with, really, is there any shred of evidence to what you're saying? I mean, we shouldn't be seen to be, really labeling a person when we do not have facts.
No, I was there myself. I was there.
And you allowed it to
even
happen.
take you, show you the house whereby we were paid, those people were paid. When he was an SRC student there in University of Zululand, he was paid with those SRC students. I can tell you the people who were him, not him alone, the whole SRC students in University of Zululand.
Okay, Peter, thank you very much. And I think Fikile Mbalula would really appreciate your call. If there's anything really that you know that was done in a way that is not in accordance with the laws of the country, please. The minister has been saying, please tweet or send me a DM. Let's rather focus on things that we can really produce facts and proof of, more especially on this show. We do not want to appear as if we are giving people platform to really accuse others of certain things. But a reminder that you can call us and air your views. The numbers to dial are 089-110-4210. And we're talking here on Question Time about the state of affairs, the reshuffling, the tensions within the alliance and all that. Now, SG, the ANC Youth League, one of your NEC members yesterday stood up at Germiston and said, come Friday, we'll be waiting with shambox and other weapons, he said, to ensure that we protect, our property as the ANC. Now, those of us who were around at the time know that some people once attempted to march on Shell House some years back, and the consequences were very bad.
Yes, Paul, I will be doing a mistake by not responding to the caller who has just called. Because if lies remain repeated, they are then assumed to be the truth. This is the problem that we have in South Africa. A person calls the shows, says the president is corrupt or anyone is corrupt. The person is not wrapped around the knuckles. The person is not required to bring proof of that particular statement, and the statement remains as if it's the truth. That is the problem we have, and that is the image that has been put down on the ANC. And I believe that we must start as the African National Congress and as individuals to take serious actions against people who point to corruptions without evidence and something that they've never had on, just on the basis that they are opposition or they are emerging from opposition benches. I just wanted to clarify that particular issue first so that we don't leave it hanging. A private property is private property. A person takes a lot of responsibility and a lot of action to make sure that they protect their private property. Some people stay in gated estates. Some people actually have shambox in their houses in order to protect themselves against anyone who comes and tries and make a forceful entry into their premises. All that the ANC Youth League was saying is that we will protect the property of the African National Congress. We are happy that those who are thinking of marching are no longer thinking of going to Lutuli House, but they are now going to go to another area, because that was a direct provocation to the African National Congress. They never marched when we were talking about the issue of land. They have never marched for free education. Even right now, the DA is still harboring racists in their own organization. They are busy saying they are taking the ANC to court, whereas they are leaving the people they are staying with in their own offices as racists who have been proven to be racist, where there is evidence that have been delivered. But certainly they find energy to go against the African National Congress.
Courage.
Yes, Mbo, thank you so much for letting me also air my views. Just a quick one. I would like to congratulate His Excellency Msholozi Zuma for the action that he took, because according to me, he is aligning the country to be ready and ripe for radical economic, transformation. These rating agencies that are busy downgrading South Africa over some petty cheap political issues should be ignored. Because one thing you should know is that they are not happy that these new people that have just come in are going to do, what they actually don't like. Radical transformation is on its way, and they're not happy because it means that Black South Africans are going to benefit, and white monopoly capitalist is going to come down. So people should just ignore all these rating agencies and work towards developing South Africa. And I just want to advise people maybe to avoid staying away on Friday, because it's not going to work. Remember that the president did this reshuffling because he's empowered to do so. Yes, people may cry about consultation, but anyway, even if he had consulted everyone and everyone had said no, it actually remained with him to take a decision. So those consultations, which could be just advices that he could take or dismiss.
Courage, thank you very, very much there for the Courage calling us from around Johannesburg there. Now, SG, I want us to take a break, but before we do that, you have endorsed this reshuffle, or the reshuffle that occurred. You have said it is young people, former leaders of the ANC Youth League, whereas some are opposed to them, in particular Malus.
What we've been saying as the ANC Youth League, that for the organization to regenerate, it must introduce a new generation of leaders to its fold. And what President Jacob Zuma has done is actually to say thumbs up to young people by saying that they are the future, they can contribute better where we have not done well, and as a result we are very happy. We are talking about Malusi Kigaba. Malusi Kigaba, it's not as if this is a person who just came yesterday and became a Minister of Finance. We are talking about the longest serving president of the ANC Youth League. We are talking about a person who has been in Parliament. We are talking about a person who has held positions such as Deputy Minister, Minister. You can go to any Home Affairs and check the efficiency that it is operating with. It is at a high level. So we believe very well that these new set of leaders being given to deal with important issues. If you look at Comrade Balula, we have been crying very much in this country about crime. Some of the things that have been classified as xenophobic attacks, sometimes they prove from the issue of crime. Okay. So we need to deal with those issues, and we believe that these are the right people who are going to propel us forward.
This is question time. We shall return.
Phones, cloud systems and robots have taken over a lot of what used to be done manually.
Our accounting system is actually based on the cloud.
Google nowadays can tell you where you parked your car.
And Africa's entrepreneurs are using technology to create.
With Pocket Masipala, you can basically do all the services that you would do at the municipality physically by going there, but you can now do them on a mobile app.
Join me, Phumelele Zondi, every Sunday at 7:30 p.m. Central African Time on SABC News.
Being orphaned at an early age propelled him to better heights.
When I was 16, my mother passed away, and I had no choice than to find work, and I had to juggle work between work and school. I've worked on different coffee shops, And eventually in 2012, I started my own business called City's Brew.
Laying good business acumen since childhood nurtured her good standing.
I happened to grow up in a family where my father is a businessman. And as a businessman, he used to have lots of friends from different parts of the world. Business, you need to be committed. You need to live it. You need to love it. You need to be there, at the moment.
For more inspiring stories, stay tuned to Bupilong every Friday.
Welcome back. You're still watching Question Time. We're talking to the Secretary General today of the ANC Youth League, Unjabulo Nzuza. But we've also now been joined by Wayne Duvenage, who's the chairperson of OUTA, the organization undoing tax abuse, no longer against e-tolls this time. But before we go ahead, let's take a look at this clip here.
For us, this president has actually decided to take the role of the president of the country as one that is totally delinked and in defiance of his organization and the Constitutional Court and Parliament. And we believe that the ANC needs to take regard of this because it's a very dangerous line and precedent.
Has accepted the irretrievable breakdown of the relation between the president and members of the cabinet as sufficient explanation for the decision taken by the president. Therefore, the issue of the intelligence report complicated the matter, creating a lot of unhappiness. This was consequently presented as the only reason for his removal, which was unfortunate and incorrect.
The SG of the ANC there, preceded by Cheryl Carolus. But Wayne, why do you want to take court action against a legal decision?
Well, I think what we're doing, and not just ourselves, many civil action movements, the political parties are going to explore, but we have to wait for the motion of no confidence to go through in Parliament first on the 18th. Obviously, I think enough troops will rally around the President, as they have done in this working committee session. But we've got to go through those motions.
Why?
What?
Why do something which you know that it's not going to pass?
Well, no. I mean, if we go to the Constitutional Court, they will say there's this process, wait for it. So we have to wait for that. I mean, imagine if we go to court and that actually there is a motion of no confidence, well, then the matter's been attended to. So what we are exploring is the various elements within the Constitution which give evidence to the fact that the President is not acting in the best interests of this country and of its people. Okay. And there are many clauses, well, because we are poorer than we were a few days ago. Under President Zuma's reign, since 2009 to now, look at the indicators, how the rand has dropped, how our credit ratings have dropped, how our unemployment has gone up, how our national debt to GDP has plummeted to over 50%, was at 35% back in 2009. Every indicator has shown that under President Zuma, our country has gone backwards, not slightly, rapidly, and we are failing as a nation.
Let's go to KZN. Eshowe, some good news there, please.
Yes, how are you, Mpo?
I'm well. How are you? Good news?
I'm very well.
Yes.
And I want to congratulate my comrade Mchazi as well.
Yes.
Yeah, Mpo, no. Don't worry about those old things which is happening in this country. Those forces which we don't know what are they for, who they represent, who gave, where they get the mandate to do whatever they do. They call themselves with special names.
Yeah.
We know that they're fighting only the ANC. It's not to the president, as the youth leader has
mentioned.
Okay.
So we are not worrying about them. The ANC will lead again, even whatever they will do, because they are not the people. Those are not organizations are not elected by anyone, but they got to just make daily news each and every day. But I'm unhappy about two TV channels there, same as your channels and 3403. Is only 4 or 5 channels who just tell us the truth in the world. Only that they talk about junk status. There are people, they always about in junk status for a long time. They know there is nothing wrong about that now junk status is about great people.
Okay.
Great people, they don't follow money anywhere. They don't have the money anywhere.
Okay, good news. Well, yeah, good news there. But, I mean, why are you saying only 4 or 5 is telling the truth? Good news. But anyway, your response, the court cases that are pending, and now that we know that the motion of no confidence is going to be debated.
What we have in this country are protectors of white privilege and white minority capital. These people have been chowing away on our economy for such a long time, benefiting themselves only. The moment we try and interfere with the structure of the economy to make it equitable to our people, they come up, they launch civil action groups that do not make a difference. Just yesterday, Save SA was marching with just about 40 people, and they think that their views are the views of society in general. They must know one thing: the president was elected by the people, and it is the people who will decide through a vote. This attempt of always going to court because you have a lot of money which you are supposed to be directing to children's home and making a difference in society, but you are busy wasting that money, knowing yourself that it's not going to work. That is the problem we have in this country. And we are not going to back down in our program of making sure that the economy is equitable to everyone. Those who have money will even go after them, will check where they are getting their money. If this money is coming from foreign donors, such must be cut, to make sure that we don't have people who come here and masquerade as representatives of the people, whereas they have not been they are not representative of the people. Go and check at their matches, who is in their matches. It is the CEO, the well-off people, shareholders of companies. As the Youth League, when we mobilize the people. We get that yesterday with thousands and thousands of young people. So this notion that says that President Zuma is not wanted by people is not true. Take into scale a march held by Save SA and the rally held by the Youth League. It's showing actually that we are in full control. There is confidence from the president to operate in this country. And there is one thing which is a lie. It is a lie that is being told here, that the sovereign rating of the country was actually dropped because of the reshuffle. That particular rating was issued before the reshuffle by institutions that are being praised by white monopoly capital as institutions that are credible. Very same institutions, they've been fined billions of rands in the US for doing what? For manipulating the market. And here we sit and say, no, we must listen to these markets, whereas our people on the ground continue to go poor. We can't accept it anymore.
We have run out of time, but I want to give you a concluding.
The people are going to be poorer as a result of this. That downgrade came as a result of this reshuffle. In fact, as a result of the president recalling the ministers from their road trip to the investors in Europe. I would have downgraded it even before Thursday. So they mustn't come with this nonsense. They mustn't come with the fact that ratings agencies are not important. They are very important. We are poorer. We are in a junk status country. Every person in this country is poor and will get poorer every single day in this country until we remove this president from office and until we get some sanity into this country's leadership.
But do you think that he's doing what comes out of his head, or he's doing what comes out of
whatever he's doing? Whatever he's
ANC.
doing and who's directing him, and the Guptas are behind all of this. We understand there's a lot of nonsense. It is not right for this country, and we know it, and everybody knows it. We're not in a good shape.
Okay.
And we're getting worse.
Unfortunately, we've run out of time. But yeah, that was question time for today. A big thank you to my guest and to you for watching the show. From me, Mudimo Aletse Handle. I have a hot.
Cold weather is good news for farmers battling the fall army worm.
Soldiers of misfortune, and it has no natural combat enemy in South Africa yet.
A mother in Deep Sloot is fighting for answers after a baby died at a local creche.
When they handed the baby to me, I said boy boy, but he was unresponsive and his hands were very cold. When I opened his eyes, I knew something was wrong.
Daycare mothers even changed his nappy and handed the already dead child to the unsuspecting mother.
The world has become digital, and we need to find new ways to solve current problems.
You're capturing your geo coordinates. So if you stay in a shack, you still have an address because we know where you are.
Some are using it to tell new African narratives.
Our first priority is catering to our fans. And we have to go where they are, and they're online.
That's Network with Ms. Phumelele Zondi every Sunday at 7:30 p.m. Central African Time.
Being orphaned at an early age propelled him to better heights.
When I was 16, my mother passed away, and I had no choice then to find work, and I had to juggle work between work and school. I've worked on different coffee shops, and eventually in 2012 I started my own business called City's Brew.
Laying good business acumen since childhood nurtured her good standing.
I happened to grow up in a family where my father is a businessman, and as a businessman he used to have lots of friends from different parts of the world. Business, you need to be committed, you need to live it, you need to love it, you need to be there, at the moment.
For more inspiring stories, stay tuned to Bupilong every Friday.
This story is about what happens when we put our differences aside and we come together as a human race.
Salt makes its way out of the kitchen into the art studio.
Normally, salt is for food and stuff, but then here's salt.
Past couple of months, I've grown so much, and I'm just ready to impart what I've learned to the next Miss South Africa.
I wasn't expecting this. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I'm feeling so overwhelmed.
For your weekly dose of entertainment news, tune into Trends every Saturday from 12 to 1.
What is environmental health?
In Section 24 of the Constitution, the environmental right has a second part, which is to encourage people to be active citizens and gives us the right to participate in politics and organize and raise awareness so that the environmental right can be guaranteed.
Using coal and wood and paraffin to cook with or to heat their space or to heat water. These are basic fundamentals, and I think if we can address that alone, we will make a huge impact, an environmental impact on the health of our population.
Food that comes into the country, the vigilance at the ports and harbours is being checked at the moment currently by environmental practitioners who are port officers at those ports. They need to be more stringent in terms of control of what comes into the country.
Join Health Talk every Saturday for all your health news.
It's 6 o'clock Central African time. You're watching SABC News Prime Time live from Johannesburg. A very good evening to you. I'm Peter Ndorf. Thanks for joining us. These are tonight's top stories. The ANC's National Working Committee has come out in support of President Jacob Zuma. Parliament has set a date for a motion of no confidence in him. Civil society releases plans for Friday's march to the Union buildings to demand that the President step down. And the National Treasury's Director General Lungisa Fuzile has confirmed that he will be leaving the department soon. In our top story tonight, President Jacob Zuma is set to meet the party's Integrity Committee this weekend. The committee had previously resolved that the president step down. However, that resolution has now been withdrawn. This follows the National Working Committee meeting last night, which threw its weight behind the president and the newly appointed minister following the cabinet reshuffle. That decision led to the ratings agency Standard & Poor's downgrading South Africa's debt status to junk.
It has been a rocky few days. A reshuffle that led to the ANC's top three, including the deputy president, breaking.